Abba Yah, we thank you for the Shabbat day that your sons, we're coming together. We're having a discussion about you and your ways, but we're also resting, putting our bodies at ease from the work of the week. There are so many tasks that came our way, but today those things have to take a back seat because it's your day, it's your focus. We're going to do the work of Yah, be it ministry. We're going to minister to one another in conversation and dialogue. Mm-hmm. May we benefit from this dialogue and grow off of it. May we honor you. May we cover the bases that need to be covered for the day and use those things later on in the week to have our dialogue with you in our prayer closet so we can grow in you and grow amongst the fellowship of the Mishpachah. We thank you for this day and many more. Hallelujah.
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 Okay. So go ahead.
Yeah. So back to let's go to the scriptures on that.
Okay.
As it relates to, isn't that in Leviticus or somewhere in Leviticus?
Well, there's definitely something in Leviticus 19 and 31, I think, is one of the main ones that I always. So let me see. I might well. Boom, boom, boom. I got
Leviticus, you said 19 and
I think 31, but yeah, I might as well just connect my
get connected. Regarding not them that have familiar spirits neither seek after wizards. So that's not
19 and 31. Is that okay? So let me get in there. Let me because I might be giving
of your flesh. Okay,
I might have.
I know it's in Leviticus somewhere here.
So I'm
18.
Okay. I'm gonna get over
here. Thou shalt not hate that brother in the heart. Okay.
So I'm going. Let me see. That ain't what I want. Let me get this. So yeah. I could be a little bit slow sometimes.
That's all right.
But don't tell you, I know I am, so don't worry about it.
I ain't. I'm quick. I move with the quickness.
All right. All right. I'm going.
But I'm slow on this, so I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get
my scriptures. So I'm gonna go to Leviticus, and I said 19. And I think
what version is that you're looking at?
The scriptures version.
I mean, what
this is you version is a Bible app. You can download it on your phone.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty easy to get around and all of that.
Yeah. Stuff. Okay. All right, here it goes. It starts at 33 actually. And it says, and when a stranger sojourns with you in your land, do not oppress him. Let the stranger who dwells among you be to you as a native among you. Mm-hmm. So he's just like, your brother or your family. He's not Israel, but we treat him just like Israel. And you shall love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Mizraim. I am Yahuwah, your Elohim. Do no unrighteousness in right ruling, in measurement or in length or in weight or in measuring liquids. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. Mm-hmm. But that's one of many. It's many others that.
Yeah, we're going to look at some more because this is not. I mean, I've read somewhere here in Leviticus where it specifically says not to somewhere in Leviticus.
Yeah, there is one. Let me.
I'm just trying to get to the. I'm trying to get to the.
It's usually dealing with folks that think or believe differently. Because if you look through the whole bloodline even of Yahusha, mm-hmm. There's Canaanites in there. Mm-hmm. There's other nations in there. But the women that are in his lineage, basically, they serve Yah. So go ahead.
When I listen to certain Israelite videos that I see. I mean, I listen to a lot of different ones, except for there's one I don't listen to because they're a little too out there for me. But Sakari and Mike Malice and some of these other people that you listen to, and they are strong against, and that's why I'm posing the question and seeking the answer.
Well, one of the issues that come into play is that people try to identify who Israel is by skin color, which is a problem.
But I've heard them say it's not about skin color.
But most people do it by skin color.
I agree.
And so like right now, many of us in US have slave forefathers, so we may have the master's blood in us,
right?
And so that problem comes into play. And then there are some people that look Caucasian but are not,
right?
When you look at
there's a guy on TV, the news, this guy looks as white as, and he's been mistaken as such, and been around white folks and talked about black folks, and they didn't know he was actually a brother.
Well, Gehazi, the servant of, I think it was Elijah, he basically took on the gifts of Naaman. And so it said his descendants forever would be cursed with leprosy. And so they would have white skin. And so the Kagits are the descendants of Gehazi. They look white as anybody else, but they're actually Israelites.
Now, how come I have no idea what you're talking about? I mean, in this, see, that's why I gotta get into studying, really studying, and get this information.
Do you remember the story of Naaman, who basically was a servant of I think Assyria or something, and he had leprosy.
Yeah.
And he sought out the prophet.
Yeah.
And he had to dip himself in the Jordan 7 times.
Yeah.
And so when the prophet was offered gifts, he's like, I don't desire any of that. Naaman left, and then his servant Gehazi ran after Naaman.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's like, he didn't actually run after. He sent other servants actually to do it. He didn't do it himself. He sent other servants, and they went and got some gifts from Naaman.
Yeah.
And when the prophet found out, or he knew he did that, he told him that the leprosy that was on that man now sits on you, and it's on your generation forever. I can go to
we need to find that. We need to, because I'm going to go home and reread all of this. So I need to know exactly where that is.
Oh yeah, he showed it to me last time I was over. I mean, one of the times I was over there. Yeah, it was something to see.
Yeah, 2 Kings. Let me find that.
2 Kings.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it though. 2 Kings. I think it's 2 Kings and 6. I think so. But I might as well pull it up over here.
Yeah, that's somewhere I'm gonna get to, because I got to get it for myself, man.
I get that. Yeah, I agree.
I got to get it.
And you should.
And and once I read it and establish it in my own head, then I will have what I say. Yeah, this is how I see it and believe it based on how I understand it. And
all right, let me see.
Because all of this, I mean, just like you said earlier, man. I mean, you come from slaves, and you got the seed of the. As many of us have the seed of the slave master in the bloodline in us.
Let me see.
So when you hear people like Sakari and what's that other brother's name, and Mike Malice and this other brother talking, they all say something pretty much the same, but I'm like, wait a minute.
So 2 Kings 5. Yep. All right. So when you go down here,
what is it? 2 Kings what, 5?
2 Kings 5, and it's where let me see. Right here in 20, let's see.
Well, look where I have no highlight. That's the only page I ain't got highlight. Chapter 5.
And let me see. I'm gonna just start here at 20. It said, and Gehazi, the servant of Elijah, the man of Elohim, said, look, my master has spared Naaman, this Aramean, while not receiving from his hands what he brought. But as Yahuwah lives, I shall run after him and take whatever from him. And Gehazi pursued Naaman And when Naaman saw him running after him, he came down from the chariot to meet him and said, "Is there peace?" Now there's somewhere else that said he sent servants, but it don't matter.
All well.
And he said, "Peace, my master has sent me, saying, look, even now, 2 young men of the son of the prophets has come to me from the mountains of Ephraim. Please give them a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments." And Naaman said, "Please accept 2 talents." And he urged him and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags and 2 changes of garments and handed them to 2 of his servants.
What version are you reading?
I'm reading the TS 2009, the scriptures version.
Okay.
But you know,
no, I'm just
I know it's different. You in the KJV, so you know.
Okay.
So
where you at though? Where you at though, Moray?
I'm right here at 23.
First Kings.
Second Kings
chapter
5 and 23 is I'm at the end of 23.
Okay. Got you.
And they bore them ahead of him. And now I'm on 24. And when he came to the high place, he took them from their hand. So see, right there is saying he got it from the servants and stored them away in his house and let the men go. And they went. And he went and stood before his master. And Elijah said to him, "Where did you go, Gehazi?" And he said, "Your servant did not go anywhere." See, he didn't go anywhere. He sent the other people. So anyway. But he said to him, "Did not my heart go with you when the man turned back from his chariot to meet you? Is it time to accept silver and to accept garments and olive trees and vineyards and sheep and cattle and male and female servants? So let the leprosy of Naaman cling to you and your descendants forever." And he went out from him as leprous as snow.
Now you know leprosy
will lead to the
turn white, right?
Seed forever.
He's turned leprous as snow, so white as snow. And so there were multiple different kinds of leprosy, I guess. Some of it was like you have like sores and pain, but you know, it says right here he turned white as snow. Miriam turned white. They didn't say anything about her being in pain, and you know, she turned leprous too. So when you look up Gehazi,
so okay, when you say leprosy forever, would that could you consider that as albino?
Yes,
it would be something similar.
Yeah, I'm just thinking
it would be.
I'm just thinking it would be seed of some people who come as an albino. That's just got me thinking.
But I don't know. I wasn't there, but it would be something similar to that because it was obvious that they were different. He was different. If he was already white, as they put it to us,
right?
What is turning white?
You're right.
If you're already white,
right?
That doesn't. It doesn't make sense.
Well, it'd be like Moses sticking his hand. Yeah. Okay.
You know. So but when you look up Gehazi and you start doing a search on him and find out what his relatives, like I'm gonna just do a brief little. I'm gonna just mess with it here.
Okay.
Just you know, just tap in descendants.
You got your phone there,
yeah.
So yeah, you do it on your phone. Yeah. You do it on your you grab your phone and open it up and do a search of descendants of Gehazi. Gehazi. I did this with you, Craig, didn't I?
Yeah.
Descendants of Gehazi. Descendants.
It's Gehazi.
Gehazi. Okay. How many children did okay, let me see. Who were the Gehazi descendants? Bible question. All right.
I'm not seeing nothing right here, but I'm gonna help you cheat. I'm gonna change it to Gehazi and the Cagots. Cagots.
It was Cagots.
COT. Baruch. You could drop the S, but it's Cagot, the Cagot.
CAGOT.
The Cagot. And if you go down into the Wikipedia down here, if you see that, it'll say, it'll show you Gehazi. Gehazi comes up, and then it's the first whites of Europe. All these different things. Lepers, Gehazi breed in Europe when it comes up with the Cagots, and but the Cagots.
Are you putting descendants of Gehazi / Cagots,
or I just put Gehazi and the Cagots?
Okay, Gehazi. Get rid of descendants.
I'm gonna even do it. Who do
evidence is favor of Cagots being descendants of Gehazi?
You see that?
The word Cagots or Gahats, as they were at times called, is obvious. So, okay.
Yeah. And if you look up a picture of them, they look like.
Yeah, I see a picture of them right here. That's Wikipedia, the Cagots. Cago were persecuted minority who lived in the west of France and northern Spain.
And when you think of Spain is one of the places that the so-called Black Judeans spent a lot of time in, because Spain and Portugal is where there was a great connection to I guess what we would call Israelites, but the Judean aspect of them.
I'm just sending this to my email.
I think I got
it later.
I think I got a whole write up on them in my email, and I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me because
out
of French and
I
Spain,
did this study a long time ago, and
just tell themselves.
Send it to both of us, out.
All right. Yeah, I did this study a long time ago, and
famous Cagot photos. Let me see here. Oh yeah, see here.
Yeah. Yep, I'm sending this to both of y'all. I did this quite a few years back, with the Cagots, so it's like a lot of the terminology and words we use, we don't break them down to see where they come from. Like, when I slowed down an Ashkenazi, are you Ashkenazi? Nazi. And then Ashkenaz, if you look Ashkenaz,
Nazi.
And you look at where those people originate, they're around the area we call Germany.
Yeah, not Nazi Germany, Nazi Germany.
Yeah, and Ashkenaz, and then when they say how you gonna be Ashkenaz, which is a grandson of Japheth, and then you're gonna say that you're Ashkenazi Jewish, which would make you a grandson of Shem. You can't be. Which one is your father? Ashkenaz or Shem? Which one? You got one father, but they claim to be both. But then that ish at the end, because it's funny, ish, in America means like.
Yeah, or pertaining to, like.
Yeah. But if you think of ish in Hebrew, ish means man. You know, we are Ishes or Ish, you know, and we have Ishas, our women are Ishas. Ish. So it's like they use a lot of terminology, and it's like it matters what is placed in, or what conversation is being placed in, so you can grasp the understanding. If you use Ish in speaking with, you know, Blackish in America or whatever, but if you use it in Hebrew, it means man.
Yeah.
Man. So they steal a lot of our stuff. Like, you know, like when there's information that say that the Jews lived in the ghetto.
Right.
Who lives in the ghetto? Us.
Right. Right.
But when you go over to Germany, they were the ones put into the ghetto.
Well, I think it speaks to the power of words, you know, the power of the word or words, because words are used to you know, intermingle and flip and toss and deceive and everything else. So I don't know.
But that's how they mess with us. Like when they say that the whole race thing.
Yeah.
When you look at when Claude Anderson speaks on where the word race comes from, they had a race for global domination and superiority, and it was between the palm skin people. The African nations were not involved in it, and so they end up being booty. You know, and you know, we know well, some know that the word booty means treasure,
Right.
but it's become now a body place. And so those people, while they were getting the booty, the treasure, they also was raping and pillaging us. So they made we were property, and we became sexual conquest.
Right.
So we were treasure and treasure. You know, we were booty and booty.
Right. Right.
You know.
Right. Right.
Because they was raping our men and our women. You know, like, you know, some of the history say that Christopher Columbus was one of the most, you know, dastardly persons. But then it's also history to say that that was not even his name, and that he was actually one of us. He had a Moorish guider or navigator, you know. But one of the things that I guess that a lot of our brothers would teach and say is that the white man is the one that's wicked. But if we really look at biblical history, we see that it started with us.
Well, when you begin to look at wickedness as it relates to how the Israelites continued to be in slavery because of their wickedness against God, and serving the idols, and just did not want to do right. Stiff-necked people who just time and time again. I mean, after Moses delivered them out of the hands of Pharaoh, and they saw the power of God working through the man of God Moses, who God gave the law, they couldn't even wait till he come down off the mountain before they started carrying on with nefarious activity. And so
Sodom and Gomorrah were brown people. Melanin people.
And what were they doing? The same thing that they're doing today.
Look at the scenario of the prophet that was basically in a neighboring town, walking through, and the Benjamites knocking on the door. Give us the man that we may lay with him. He ends up giving up his concubine. They raped her to death, and then he cut that concubine up and sent pieces to all of the lands of Israel. But they wanted him. They wanted to lay with him. And so then that's why Benjamin kind of got cut off. Benjamin, you're not even supposed to marry your daughter off to a Benjamite. They can only get their wives by actually kidnapping a woman.
Well, you know, it was speaking to that subject. Of Sodom and Gomorrah. My mother and I were looking at talking about some of the newscasters, and she says, "Oh yeah, that brother's married to he's married to a man, and that brother there, he's married to a man." So she said, "Is there any black men that are not gay anymore?" because you're seeing it more and more and more. And then when you and I know they have promoted it through media and through but then when you look at it and think about it, you know, going back to Sodom and Gomorrah and who represented that. I mean, because you know, back when I was growing up, all my partners were you know, straight shooters, you know, and I mean, the people I know today are, but you are seeing it more and more. And I'm saying to myself, what are these brothers? What is going on in there? And then so it made me think about when you just said that, because that same spirit that was then has resurfaced now, and it's like, man, I just don't get it, man.
Well, one of the plays is a war strategy. If you if you bind the strong man, and so if you make a man effeminate, he's no longer a strong man.
Right.
He may have strength, but his emotions guide him, and not his mind, and not his spirit. And so he's broken. And so they can dominate. And so they project that onto us. But of course, my whole
but why, how do you buy into it? Is, you know, I mean, I know it's
you buy into it in the aspect of if originally a man was kind of emasculated by saying, we're not going to give you any financial support if that man is in the home.
You're right.
Okay, so he's out of the home. Now the woman sees that she has the influence and the power and the say. And so now she basically emasculates her son because she does not want to bring in a threat to her position. She is the dominant voice in the home, and so any male dominant voice has to be canceled out. And so as you do that, you end up making the male he's reluctant to stand to his position. So if he's not leading, he's following, he's not really a proper man. You know, he is not going forth and, you know, go forth and have dominion over the earth. If you're being dominated, how can you operate in dominion? You're actively being dominated. And so our men over and over in their homes and marriage and everything else, even when they have some masculinity, are being dominated over and over and over again.
You did a thing online about that. I remember we had a little bit of a conversation about that, actually. Now that I remember. But
that
makes sense.
But going back to the others, what we were talking earlier, right now we see everybody as race, but at a time you can see, like, okay, let's use this as an example. What did Paul call himself? He called himself an Israelite, but he also called himself a Roman.
Right.
So what's his nation? You know, his nation was both nations actually by his own mouth, but his nation of origin would be Israel.
Right.
At that time, you had Romans that were brown skinned too. So how, you know, how do you consider what race, if you use the term race, you know, so you know, they called that man and said he was an Egyptian because he looked like an Egyptian. So what race, if you know, when we go to the race thing, so he was not an Egyptian, but he got claimed to be an Egyptian.
Right.
The difference,
that was like Joseph was same thing.
The difference comes in your cultural heritage. That's a major factor. So if a palm skin woman loved Yahuwah, followed all the laws and stuff like that, would she be better to mate with than a Christian woman that's melanin look like you? I mean, myself, glad that I don't have to make that choice. But seriously, that Christian woman is going to make it hard for you to walk as you are supposed to be as an Israelite, because one, every time you make a decision, she's going to challenge it.
Right.
Especially when it comes to the feast days compared to her holidays. When it comes to raising up your children,
Right.
You know,
Right.
when
Well,
it comes,
and we see that
when it comes to her
all day long.
preparing food,
Yes.
that other woman that has a respect for the Torah, is, you know, though she is of a different nation per se, she ain't gonna be cooking no pork in your home.
Right. Right.
Because she has a observance to know that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
So which one is better? And I'm like, I'm glad I don't have to make the decision,
Mm-hmm.
but why would you yoke yourself to someone when the yoking is nowhere even?
Yeah, it's unequally yoked.
Yeah. But but that other woman,
yeah,
even though she's so-called from another nation,
mm-hmm.
because if you look at the dynamic of Ruth,
yeah,
most people will try to now say that she was an Israelite, but it says she was from the land of Moab.
Mm-hmm.
Moab, yeah.
It does. It does
again though, Moab is Lot's grandchild. Lot had children with his
Would that
daughter.
be considered what, Chinese, Japanese today?
I think that's what some people try to label it as. But the funny thing, people don't acknowledge that Lot was Abraham's adopted son, you might as well say.
Yeah.
Okay, Lot actually was Sarah's brother, and Sarah actually was Abraham's brother's daughter. And so Lot was his nephew and his adopted son, and Sarah was his niece as well as his wife. They didn't use the term niece, so they called that was his sister. You know, but she was actually his niece.
Wow. See, I got to get that. I got to get all of that.
But Lot, when he left Sodom, his wife looked back. His daughters, seeing the situation of everything going on, they think the end of the world. They got him intoxicated, slept with him. One had Moab and one had Ammon. So Moab is actually a relative again of Abraham. So how is Moab is not it's not a different race?
If you look at certain history, the black people I've seen it in some reading where you have the Chinese or Japanese, one of the two, were actually black.
Yeah.
Back, way back when, and through time they
and blending in and everything. But I'm saying some of the talk in the Bible is about leaving or not messing with Moab. But Moab, if Moab descends from Lot, Abraham family, his brother Lot is his brother's son. That's the same bloodline.
Yeah.
So how can it be race be the issue when they actually come from the same bloodline?
I get all of that,
but I'm just saying these are things that people push.
Right.
When you even look at it, Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Yeah.
Noah is their daddy. So
right.
Japheth and Ham, they're relatives.
Right.
How are they different race when they're
relatives? Yeah. Duh.
I'm saying,
yeah.
we have made this race thing into something. Now they look different, like even Esau. Yeah. Esau and Jacob is twin brothers. They're not brothers born at different times. They're twin. They were born at the same time. Yeah. Yes, they're two different nations, but they were born at they're brothers.
Right.
So if you relate with an Edomite, that's your kinfolk. But they'll say different race.
Yeah.
They use the look. You just don't know. So it's a lot of stuff. Like they told us for many years that we were from primates, but if you stop and look at a lot of palm people's pictures, they have more looks like primates than we do.
Those thin lips and anyway.
When they do DNA, they start finding out they actually descend from us. Well, and if you say you brought something from the dirt, if you brought something out of something, wouldn't it look like what you brought it out of?
Yeah, sure.
We look more like the brown of the dirt.
Right.
We have more melanin, like the plants and the trees. If you look, everybody has thumbprints. If you cut a tree, the rings in the tree look like a thumbprint.
Right.
So that's what all men. It's a lot more.
But no, you're making some sense on some things. So
I think honestly, I feel like that we have this need to balance the scales that kind of is improper. You know, we've been mistreated for so long that people actually want their revenge. I know they want their hit back.
Yeah, and that's why you look when I listen to all of these other, all I want is seek to find the truth that satisfies me. I mean, I hear what Sakari is saying, and I hear what Mike Malice is saying, and I hear what all of these Israelite groups are saying, but it just doesn't seem to quite gel all the way correct with me. So that's why I'm seeking it to get it for myself.
Like there is this big issue of right now where if you really slow, well, I ain't gonna say you. When I slow down and look, the Caucasians or palm skin people really want to lead still. But it tells you that the oracles are of Israel, that the royal priesthood Israel again. You know, I think it's Exodus 19:6 that speaks of that the royal priesthood would be Israel, and so they want to lead over us. They don't want to change that position. So that's where you end up having the Revelations 2:9 and 3:9 because they want to proclaim themselves to be something that they're not. And so one of the biggest hangups, I guess, is because they know how they did us.
Right.
They expect that to turn back on them.
Right.
And that's not how we're not made like that. But we do have a core group of people pushing the narrative that they're gonna be our slaves and we're gonna be able to rape their women.
Right.
And they speak of all of this unrighteousness that they want to do, not realizing the terminologies in the text mean something different than what we have been exposed to. So when you deal with biblical slavery is not the same as chattel slavery. Sarah kind of noted herself to be a slave to Abraham. She called him master. The father is our master. He does not beat us just recklessly or whatever. He chastens us when we do something wrong. You know, it's like, you know, there's a response to our actions that goes about. He's not just, you know, just out there just with malice, just, you know, pop, 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 pop.
Sure.
We ain't supposed to do that. You correct any child. So just like, okay, he's our master, but also he recognizes us as children. And so if we're in his image, those that we are over, we may be master to them, but we also are to recognize them as our children.
Right.
So when a man marries off his daughter, that daughter is his possession. He hands her off to another man. That man now becomes her father, even though he's her husband by legal sense.
Sure.
That's the one's responsible for it. He is her father. He's her covering now. One covering to another. Most women ain't trying to hear that.
No, because we know why.
And most nations ain't wanting to hear that either, that they have to come up under Israel and be submissive to us to the point that they are like our children. They're going to have access to the kingdom, but they only have access if they come in under Israel. And that's a problem to them.
Yeah. And that speaks to what, you know, you hear that salvation is for Israel, you know, and that whole well, wait a minute, isn't salvation salvation is only for Israel. So that
but see, the other nations didn't need to be saved. And so most people, like, we've been taught salvation in the wrong way. You know, we thinking that you know, we're gonna, you know, you endure to the end so that you can be saved. But it's the dynamic of the kingdom is based on Israel's focus, because that's his chosen people. But they were chosen so that they can represent him in the earth, just like the same Genesis situation. So as representation, they're gonna have dominion over everything in the earth. Everything's going to have to submit to the rule of Yah, and we are his image in the earth. And so they're going to have to submit to that.
And that's where the battle is.
So they don't need to be saved. They are doing their thing right now, whatever.
Right.
Now, to set up themselves, to set up under the dominion, of course, they're going to have to obey. But they have to make a choice. And most of them are choosing to rule now.
Well, I mean, I think that, I mean, those who are in power and the destruction of this earth that is currently going down right now as we speak, it's all being controlled by them who they know the scriptures as well as you and I know it. And but yet they don't want to bend. And so they would rather allow everything to be destroyed than to conform. That's where the battle between the good and the evil is present.
If I'm not going to be in control, I'll destroy it all.
Yeah, I'll destroy it all.
The head, I'm loving this being the head.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the tail.
Right.
But you see that same thing, that same dynamic with our women.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll destroy the home rather than them submit and allow you to have authority. Absolutely. You know, it's like it only works one way. Yeah. It works Yah's way and Yah's way alone.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. They love Yah as long as he is favoring them.
Exactly.
But if things were to shift, they still get a benefit.
Yeah.
No, they that's why I'm saying one of the biggest issues I see with Christianity is that they preach having Yah minus having the people.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have a king without having his kingdom. Mm-hmm. It makes no sense. You're gonna say, well, we're gonna take this king and set him apart from his kingdom, so he ain't a king no more. Mm-hmm. Right, now they basically want to treat him as a peer and not someone over him, because his rule is in his people. Right. His rule is in his possessions. But we said we don't need all of that other stuff. We just need just him. Mm-hmm. So basically they want to bring him, they want to strip him of all his majesty.
Yeah.
And then accept him. Yeah. He's no longer a king anymore if you do that. Exactly. And you don't value what he's put value in. His choice is to put it to Israel. It's not that we're better. Mm-hmm. It's not that we present such a majestic worship of him. Mm-hmm. You know, he just chose us. The fact that we actually have spit in his face, you might as well say, more so than any other people, because he actually given us the golden ticket, and we we tore it up.
Right.
He gave us they don't even have the gold ticket. They just you know, it's like a homeless child, and you got a child that's raised up in the house and they rejecting their parent, and that homeless child right, I ain't have a daddy. I'll be your child.
Right.
You know, kick him out.
Right.
Kick him out and let me be. Mm-hmm. But the father no, that's still my blood, so I'm not gonna kick him out. But they will kick him out. Mm-hmm. And so now the child that adopted child is getting mad, no, he gotta go.
Yeah.
What you mean? It's easier for you to go. You go. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You not mine.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to love you, but this is mine.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, same thing.
Well, what you got to say, Craig?
I'm just listening, man. Sounds good to me.
Oh, okay. Let's get to this. I'm gonna stop this recording right quick, and then I'm gonna start it over, because I'm gonna go ahead and get what I was going. Since it seemed like it's a perfect time to get where I was gonna go.
Okay.
Perfect time. So let me stop the recording, and then I'm gonna start it back up.